to the meeting of the council. I get confused. It's the Oakham Parish Council meeting, I think, is the name of it, isn't it?
Annual meeting, Chairman.
Annual meeting, exactly. So I'd just like to say before we start that, as usual, for the duration of this evening's meeting, in accordance with Standing Orders Part 3I, as Chairman, I waive the requirement to stand when speaking unless you wish to do so. Okay, so the first item on the agenda is the election of the Chairman. So I would like to just make a little statement that says I will not be standing for re-election and that I nominate Councillor
Nix.
I know. Councillor Nix as the next elected chairman. Do I have a seconder for that proposal?
Yes. That makes me quite happy, but no, because it's Chris stepping up to do it. But I had asked if someone else would like to be nominated, and so I would like to nominate, if that's allowed. If I could nominate Sally Ann, please. Wadsworth.
So we have two nominations for this post of mayor. Do I have a seconder for, first of all, for Councillor Nix?
Did we? Oh, sorry, I didn't know. I thought we had. Sorry. Apologies.
And then do we have a seconder for Councillor Wadsworth?
I'll second myself.
You second yourself. So that's two. So I think I'm not certain about what we happen here, but I think we just go straight to a vote at this point, unless there are any other nominations.
No, when it's two people, we can just vote.
So if we could just have a vote on, let's go with Councillor Sally Ann Wadsworth first off. All those in favour, please raise their hands. Please.
Is it one vote per person?
Yes.
Right. Sorry.
You can't vote twice on the same person.
No.
No, I mean, do I vote for only one person?
Yes.
Right. Sorry, I just didn't quite know how it worked.
If people want to, we can ask for a recorded ballot. So if people feel that they don't want it to be known who they vote.
Just remain chair for a little while longer, that would be perfect. So we could just have a show of hands for those in favour of Sally Ann Wadsworth, Councillor Sally Ann Wadsworth. 1, 2, and those against. 2.
I don't think you do against.
No, it'll be first. It'll be the first part.
Okay, 2 then, and now if we could have a vote for Councillor Nix. 2, 3, 4. So that motion is carried. The other motion falls.
That's
good. So shall we do our business? So the next step is declaration of acceptance of office, signing of paperwork.
I will just pause.
Opportunity then to say a few words, if you wouldn't mind. That's all right with you, Martin?
Why me?
Or anyone else? So, thank you everyone. It is with immense pride and deep humility that I accept the position of Chairman of Oakham Town Council and Mayor of this historic, vibrant and much loved town. Firstly, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Councillor Paul Ainsley, outgoing Chairman and Mayor. Paul, your leadership has been focused and decisive. Your dedication to the role has been unwavering, and your commitment to laying the groundwork for numerous long-term projects will benefit the town for many, many years to come. Thank you. On behalf of this council and the community, I thank you for your steadfast service, your forthright leadership, unshakable resolve in the face of seemingly unrelenting adversity, and your tireless efforts for the betterment of Oakham. Thank you. I hope that I can adequately fill the shoes that you leave. As I take on this responsibility, I do so with clear vision grounded in 3 key principles: unity, cohesion, and community engagement. Unity in our shared ambition to achieve the very best for Oakham and its residents. Regardless of differing opinions or political leanings, we must not forget that we are all here for the same reason, and that is to serve this town and to help it thrive. Cohesion within this council itself. It is my firm belief that by supporting and building each other up, by recognising and harnessing the diverse skills, talents and life experiences around this table, we can be far, far greater than the sum of our parts. We must diligently guard against pettiness, infighting and trivial quarrelling. We must choose collaboration over conflict and teamwork over turmoil. Perhaps most importantly, community engagement. With the exciting upcoming relocation of OTC back into the Victoria Hall, I believe that it's high time for Oakham Town Council to resume its place, both figuratively and literally, at the heart of Oakham. No longer as an abstract, intangible and distant body, rather reborn as an approachable, visible, responsive, engaging, welcoming, and dare I say, even charismatic town council. As a backdrop to this, the nature of social discourse is changing, with more and more conversations, concerns, and ideas migrating into online spaces. There is a real need to address the way in which we share information. As a council, we must adapt to and wholeheartedly embrace the opportunities that come with this new reality. Through social media, face-to-face meetings, and through open and honest dialogue, we will listen, we will engage, and we will act, accountable to you, the public. It's my intention to reinvigorate collaborative working between Oakham Town Council, Rutland County Council, and all of us as residents and individual stakeholders in the national treasure that is Oakham Town. Only by working together cohesively, with mutual respect and shared purpose, can we ensure that Oakham continues to be a place we are proud to call home. Through this teamwork and cooperation, I'm confident that we can achieve great things for the town. Fellow councillors, members of the community, thank you for placing your trust in me. I'm honoured to serve. Thank you. Thank you. So, we move swiftly on to agenda item 3. Apologies and reasons for that.
Councillor Tempest due to family. Do we need to keep us?
Sorry, yes, thank you. Would anyone like to propose to accept? Thank you very much, Councillor Brooks. Seconded by Councillor Sally Ann Wadsworth. All in favour of accepting? That appears to be unanimous. Thank you. Item number 4, declaration of members' interests. Do we have any applications for interest or dispensation? No. No. Clear, thank you. Right, so, item number 5, election of a vice chairman. So, can I please call for any nominations for the position of vice chair?
Gives a bloody chance, mate. I vote Martin.
Okay, so one for Councillor Brooks. Would anyone else like to stand or nominate themselves or any other person for?
Can I have a go?
You can,
Yeah.
if
Absolutely.
you want to.
I like the role because you don't actually do anything. I'm being cheeky.
Oh, scathing. Thank you very much, Councillor Douthwaite. Right, so shall we have a similar shootout?
Did we get them seconded? Sorry, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I propose Councillor Douthwaite.
Is that to second? Sorry.
Do you
Oh
want it?
yeah, I put myself forward because I'm mad.
You're allowed to, yes. But
In this case, I'll second you.
So Councillor Douthwaite, seconded by Councillor Clark. Thank you. I'm getting very ahead of myself today, clearly. And we have Councillor Brooks, seconded by Sally Ann Wadsworth.
I thought she proposed him.
I haven't been
Sorry.
seconded
Oh,
yet.
there you go. Rather misleading.
Can I second myself?
Yes, you second yourself.
Who nominated?
Me.
Councillor
Okay, thank you.
So,
So I will second myself then.
right.
Probably would have been better the other way around if I'd done the same thing, but I didn't want to do that.
Right.
Okay.
Shall we move to a vote then? Those in favour of Councillor Brooks as the deputy? Okay, that's 2. And those in favour of Councillor Douthwaite as deputy? Thank you. I shall abstain, thank you.
2. Okay. You can need to swap places again now.
Just like musical chairs, can they not just stay here?
If you wish.
Yeah,
Just for tonight.
just for tonight, I'll stay there.
And would you permit me then to...
Oh,
That's
oh,
not
no, my
photo.
photo taken. Oh, I didn't think this one through.
Well,
You could stay there forever.
Charlie, would you like to? Thank you very much.
shake a hand.
That's it.
Thank you. Well done.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Did I lose by one vote? Because I always lose by one vote.
No.
When I
Three.
Three this time, was it?
Four.
Well, that's because we don't have a lot of people.
Thank you very much, Councillor Douthwaite.
Thank you.
Right, item number 6, deputation from members of the public. Can't imagine we've got anything to say over in the cheap seats over there.
I think this was a great choice
Oh,
by
well.
the town council.
Then you would.
Well done.
Yeah, please don't bash me. If I hadn't been nominated, I would have voted.
The result is the same, it's fine.
Lovely. Okay, item number 7, to vote on the validity of the last meeting minutes, which are reported on paperwork as sent, but they are from the 9th. Councillor Brooks.
Yes, we have are you waving standing or because normally?
Yes, yeah, you will continue.
Paul
Okay.
already done that.
That's right. There's an issue with the minute for the Victoria Hall because I have checked and I was quite adamant that, and the council supported it, that obviously we got the legal advice, but we also looked into the possibility of having a longer lease than 5 years because, but that's not been minuted at all.
Okay, sorry, Councillor Brooks, just for the avoidance of doubt, could you share which
Yes,
point that is in the minutes?
I did email it
Page 4.
Thank you.
and I couldn't remember. Have you found it?
Well, thank you, Councillor, yes.
Yeah, so I think that because the council supported it is quite an important thing to minute.
Are you happy to update that, Kathy?
I think there was an email sent by Councillor Brooks which gave you the details that he thought should be included. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I think that was the only thing that was.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so with that amendment, we have a proposer to accept the meeting minutes. Thank you. Unfortunately, Chris Clark was there seconds before you, Councillor Ainsley. Are you happy to second?
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. Those in favour of accepting the meeting minutes from the 9th? That is unanimous. Thank you. I'll sign this one.
Close the door, space in the back. On the back one. Just the copies, thank you. So that'll happen there.
Thank you. Very good. Okay. Agenda item 8, council questions. Have you received any questions? Go through. Nothing from the floor? Thank you. Very good. Item number 9, the appointment of standing committees. So if you flip through to your paperwork, we've got a list of the current committees and working groups. So, as they stand, is everybody on the list of, start with finance, is everyone on the finance list happy to remain part of?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. That's Douthwaite.
Have you got that? Those? Have you got them?
Go ahead, Councillor Brooks.
I wanted to put a proposal to council that the finance committee is abolished, mainly because it's not really it doesn't have any powers to make decisions. My personal opinion on this is that it would work better if a working group, could be the same people, was set up who could work informally with the clerk on the basis of budget time, this time of the year, the end of year, and then report back to council when they've done the work, because there is a serious issue for me and also the lady from the press with this committee at the moment, having meetings in the office when it's a public meeting, and it doesn't have the powers to make decisions. So to me,
I read the email, Martin, and I think that's a...
Yeah, sorry, I'm waffled, but I wanted to do that in stages, but my proposal would be, if I'm permitted on the table, is that the committee is abolished and a working group of finance is set up.
Whilst I don't disagree with you, I think that for the time being, I think that if you would care to bring that back as a paper for full council at a later date, when
for maybe the next meeting.
So simply because we need time to obviously to take that into account on a paper and bring it forward as a proper.
Yeah, I can do it for the next meeting.
I would appreciate that.
So then it can be properly
So for now,
thought about.
so for now, certainly we'll go ahead with looking at the standing committees, and at that time that you bring the paper, we can then revisit this. If you want.
Yeah. And then I had, if I'm permitted, a similar suggestion for the, as you know, I don't attend that meeting. It also has no powers, and I'm reminded every time I keep bringing up something with the clerk, can we have this at council? They can't have it at that meeting because they can't make a decision. And I've noticed that quite a lot have been cancelled. So would you be, and also it's affecting my attendance record, because originally if you attended a committee it didn't get thrown in your attendance thing, because actually councillors don't get summoned to a committee meeting.
If I may cut you off, Martin, I shall give you the same suggestion for the RMP committee as well, if you would kindly bring that back.
So I do that as 2 items, can I?
If you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Councillor.
Right, I just, yeah. It's all to do with the RMP, but it was discussed that it was going to be off the meetings at one stage. It didn't come as a paper, it was discussed that we didn't have RMP meetings anymore. Because there wasn't enough of us turning up for them, etc., etc. I can't remember when it was discussed, but I was on the understanding that it was going.
For the interest of this particular exercise in front of us, are you also happy to go ahead on this basis, to form the committee proper, and then to revisit its usability and utility at a later date when Councillor Brooks brings his paper?
Okay.
Can we defer those? Because it has something that has bounced backwards and forwards. I'm not sure that it's officially been decided that it should go, but it's had name changes over the time, and it, in my view, is if it went, it would also save the office staff a lot of work as well.
Yeah, I think there's merit in discussing it.
So would it be appropriate, as you've already suggested, if I work on 2 papers for the next meeting, and if we do just agree this tonight, it can be formally overturned if that's what the council wanted at the next meeting? I
think in the interest of transparency and going ahead, I think that would be the best course of action.
Do you agree with that, Chris?
Go ahead, Councillor Lindsay.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, I'd like to withdraw my name from that Recreation Planning Committee if I can, please.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if, because I would like mine as well, maybe we could have a proposal just based on that. The finance is a bit more of a contentious
In which case then, yes.
Can I make a proposal that we disband the Recreation and Planning Committee?
Councillor Ainsley.
Can I just ask, what happens to the planning that we get from RCT?
Tag it on the end of the other.
We will...
Like we originally did many years ago.
We'll look to incorporate it into the...
Yeah, because my question is, how long do they normally last? They're usually very quick, aren't they?
Councillor Ainsley.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to point out the terms of reference that currently exist for the recreation and planning. And item 5 is to oversee progress in any leisure or recreational projects. And I think that's a particularly important
Yeah.
role for recreation and planning. I think that monitor and enact changes to the grounds maintenance contract is within existing budgetary constraints. Receive quarterly play equipment inspection reports and commitments and observe. So I think it's, this is what it says.
That might be what it says, but they don't do it, do they?
But it could,
Well,
sorry.
I do believe that we
It could
can't.
be things like if you're
Could I
doing some of
just
those
finish
things,
what
they could be working groups.
Could I just finish off what I was saying?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just pointing out those 3 items, and I therefore think that it serves a very useful purpose. I never quite understood why we invite everybody, which is what we seem to be doing by default. We only need to be quorate of 4 members. So, as I said before, I'd like to withdraw my name from that committee.
And Martin wants to withdraw his name from the committee.
Yeah, but I would like to make a proposal that we disband that committee.
So I'll tell you what, let's get them out of the way sequentially. Let's start with finance being important as we have. Can we vote then, since everybody that is on the finance committee currently is happy to remain on there, do we have anyone else that would like to join? No, you see, you put your hands down again now. Right, in that case we have a proposer. Councillor Brooks, thank you. A seconder in Councillor Chris Clark, thank you. All those in favour of acceptance of the Finance Committee, thank you. Unanimous. Right, I then invite Councillor Brooks to make his proposal regarding the Recreation and Planning meeting.
Yes, I would like to propose that the council disband the Recreation and Planning Committee and move its responsibilities to the full council.
Very well.
And I'll second it.
We have a seconder in Councillor Sally Ann Wadsworth. All of those in favour of Councillor Brooks's suggestion? And all against? Okay. Sorry, Councillor Brooks, on one.
No, it's fine. It's how it works. Isn't
So
it?
the motion has fallen.
But then can I make a proposal or with Paul about having our names removed, because it does have a very damaging effect on the attendance, and I don't know who changed that so that it made it look as if we were not attending to what
So
I
you
always
are-
thought was a committee that you just came to if you wanted to.
Could I just suggest, this is just suggested, that actually we do it the other way around and we say, with the exception of myself and Councillor Brooks, that Councillor Nix, Councillor Clark, Councillor Douthwaite and Councillor Sally Ann Wadsworth remain on the Recreation and Planning Committee.
If I say I don't want to be on there anymore, then you haven't got quorum.
No.
So I don't want to be on there anymore either.
Okay. Right, so in that case it would seem that we do not have
Quorate. We're not quorate.
Recreation and Planning.
So you can still have it, but you can't have any meetings until we get another member of...
Who wants to be on it? That makes it a bit almost farcical, but that's...
In which case that seems we're going to have to
It's a pain because it means whoever's chairman has to call the meeting and then to the calendar and then has to come here and then say, sorry, we're not quorate, go home.
very well, so
We'll get around that one when the time comes.
Until we get somebody else
Yes.
to join.
in which case, for the avoidance of doing so, if it is possible and legal at this time to do so, should we defer that to a subsequent meeting where, at which point we may have a higher level of attendance?
So,
Yeah, I would be happy. I think it's probably said because I can't do a paper now to abolish it for 6 months because we've voted against that. So to defer that is essential, and maybe the new member might want to come on to it.
Thank you
So I
very
think
much.
I'm not certain. Basically, we can't actually hold a meeting because we can't be quorate, but nonetheless, we're not voting to abolish it. So we're just saying that the people who are...
It's in abeyance, really.
Yes, it is, yes. Councillor Clark, Councillor Douthwaite and Councillor Nix.
How exciting for a new committee formation.
Enjoy.
In which case then, moving on to the staffing committee. Let's do it the same way. So, given the information, we have Councillor Ainsley, Councillor Clark, myself and Councillor Sally Ann Wadsworth. Do we have anyone else wishing to join? We have a vacancy on staffing. Anyone keen to put their name in the ring for that one? No? Is
Anna,
there
do you want
anybody
it?
on-
Sorry?
Can I nominate Anna? Do you want to be on the staffing committee?
I've got enough to do with finance.
Okay.
Sorry.
Do we
I'm
have?
deputy clerk. I'm deputy mayor.
Do we have to have 4 people?
We have to have a minimum of
3.
finance is 4 councillors plus the chairman. That's how many we're supposed to have. Cllr, I don't know because I completely looked that up.
I think finance is Cllr as it stands.
And so is staffing.
The quorum of the committee shall be 3 members.
Yeah.
Super.
So that would be legal.
So we could leave it as it is,
Is everybody on that?
because I think you can have too many people
So,
for.
If Councillor Brooks is wanting to disband finance, planning and recreation, I take it you want to disband staffing as well?
No, you have to have staffing.
I imagine you have to have finance as well.
No, you can have a working group.
Okay,
But anyway, we
yes.
can.
So thank you, yes. Is anyone on that list not happy to attend, and can we therefore have a proposer? Thank you very much, Councillor Clark, and a seconder in Councillor Ainsley to support that. And all in favour of maintaining the staffing as stands? That is unanimous, thank you.
good.
Wonderful. Item number 10 is the appointment of working groups. So, in the interest of carrying on our theme of last year, economic strategy,
Yeah, I'm on that group and yeah, I'd like to stay.
good, thank you, Simon. If you know, I don't think there was a sheet for this, it seemed.
With this one?
Now you have.
We have a problem with this.
The working group, so the economic strategy group, currently listed as Councillor Ainsley, Councillor Brooks, Councillor Clark, Councillor Douthwaite, myself, and Councillor Wadsworth. So pretty much
Nearly all of us.
full house that we have here. Is there anyone unhappy with being on the economic strategy working group, or feels that it is no longer? Anything else, Councillor Ainsley?
Yeah, I was going to suggest that actually I think it's outlived its usefulness. We've got so many initiatives on the go at the moment that I think that I personally would want to step back from that committee.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we get rid of that one?
No, just me. You haven't said that get rid of it at all yet.
No, I'm asking. I'm not.
The value is of it at this moment, actually.
I think at this moment we can always resurrect it if we have to.
Exactly, I think that's the case. I would.
Very well. So, would you like to make a
I'd
proposal?
like to propose that we disband the Economic Strategy Working Group. It's been superseded by events.
We've got a seconder in Councillor Clark there. All in favour of disbanding the ES?
Yeah, nobody can remember the
LDG.
numbers.
There we are, that is unanimous. The egg group is no more.
You're not allowed to call it that.
I don't know, because it's disbanded now.
Very well, so the next group, well, that's a dour. Policies and procedures.
Environmental.
What? I didn't even know we had an environmental group.
We do.
We did. It was chaired by Hannah.
Oh yes.
Chaired by Anna, and I think,
Oh, sorry, it's out of-
will you remember that group?
I was, and also 2 of the councillors who have now moved on.
Yes, I think the only remaining member of that environmental group is your good self, isn't it,
Yes,
Councillor
it
Clark?
probably is, yes.
So on the environmental, we have, Councillor Clark, Councillor Douthwaite and Councillor Williams, is that what? Councillor Williams no longer being
with us?
Well,
Well, oh, that sounds awful, doesn't it? So
No.
I didn't mean that.
no, she's still very much here. Councillor Brooks.
Can I
yes,
ask any of the members of the group what you actually do, please?
Well, there's only one member here, so you'll have to ask.
Oh, I thought somebody said Anna.
It seems so.
Oh, well.
That's news to her as well.
It's been, to be honest, to pick up Councillor Brooks' point, it's been a long time since we met, and at this stage I can't see the value in it continuing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't, again, like the other ones, come again in the future should the need so arise.
So,
Mine-
disbanding that one as well for now.
My counterpoint to that would be I would be sad personally to see an environmental group not be present. I think it is a consideration, and I certainly think that there may be in this next year, you never know, something worth discussing at the environmental working group. So I shall put my name forward for that.
I'd like to propose that we call it the environmental champions, they become champions in the work. I think it's really important that Oakham Town Council gets a
Yeah.
steer
Yes.
on what we do from people who wish to champion. So we can have the environmental working group if so wish.
I'm happy to stay on it, now that I found out I'm on it.
Councillor Clark, would you like to remain on it if it should?
Yeah, I mean, I say on it, provided it contributes, has some impact, I think
course.
that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It takes time, and we need, in the discussions that we had, in future we need to make sure that some of the agreements that we come to are actually put into place.
Agreed. Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
afraid that wasn't necessarily the case with some of the other work that we did, but it's going back in history now.
I'm hopeful that that is the case. So, all those, do we have a proposer to accept or anyone else that wants to join at this time?
We'll just recap who's going to be joining.
So we have Councillor Clark, we have Councillor Douthwaite and myself currently on the environmental group. Councillor Brooks.
I like the sounding of it, but this is the issue I have, is that it's a working group which is supposed to have a purpose, but I don't know what that purpose is. So
I would
surely we
suggest-
should have some terms of
If I may.
reference for the working group so that then...
Martin, if I may, I would suggest that the terms of reference for this environmental group would be to discuss pertinent facts as they arise throughout the year.
And I think the group themselves can draw up their terms of reference.
If you would accept that and the subsequent terms. Thank you. So, all of those in favour of accepting that?
So that's what you proposed.
Yes, I'll propose that. Seconder for the environmental group.
Lots of people.
Lots of.
Anybody.
All those in favour of accepting? There we are, that's unanimous. Okay. Finance sources.
Policies.
We do
Thank you.
policies.
They've just printed out a sequence, that's all.
Sorry.
Policies and procedures. Okay, so the clerk is involved in this. And it's just myself on it at the moment, Lance and me. Anyone want to join in on?
Was not Mark Councillor Brooks on it?
Well, policies and procedures is important, and it's coming up for review again because it's an annual thing. But I found it very difficult to get people involved because it has now shrunk down to just Chris Nix. I think it needs to be looked at properly, carefully, and people need to know that, because Anna took over some of the work, and also Hannah, who's left us. It is hard work to go through it, so, but it needs to be done.
It's one of those necessary things, isn't it?
Yeah, so we can't get rid of it, and then also we can't have a working group with one person. It has to be a minimum of two.
Am I reading in that that's a volunteering from yourself, Councillor Brooks?
I'd prefer someone else because of my experience last time.
Very well. Anyone else fancy trying their hand at policies and procedures?
Go on then, I will.
That's Councillor Douthwaite.
And I was the second that proposal.
Brilliant. So you can stick me down as the proposer then, if Councillor Brooks is happy to
Second
second.
it, yeah.
Thank you. All those in favour? you.
So that was that.
It was, yes,
Yeah,
sorry, I was
carried-
a bit slow on the
carried
uptake
unanimously.
there.
Next on this particular sheet, youth and development.
You missed
Motions.
promotions.
Motions.
It's, again, sorry, it's out of sequence. Promotions then. So, chair by the deputy, that's again myself. Councillor Wadsworth, and we have a vacancy. Anyone keen for that? I know we're not a big council at the moment.
What does the role of promotions is that entail?
Essentially promoting the activities and the
Like events.
goings on and events, thank you, of the town council. So I
I'm-
suggest that can be a really
I'm
useful-
happy to put myself forward for that. I can, Sally Ann can put up with me.
Can she?
She does. And I already do some promotions in my own personal capacity, so
Indeed you do. I think that would be a very useful and very worthwhile
yeah.
membership. Thank
So
you
will
very
that be
much.
you,
Yes.
myself, and yeah, that's fine.
Lovely, so that's appears to be a full house. I'll propose that we accept that. Anyone seconding? Councillor Brooks. All those in favour of the
Can I
promotion?
just quickly have a list of the names that have been put forward, please?
Myself.
Christopher Nix,
Sorry.
Sally Ann Wadsworth and Martin Brooks.
Great, thank you very much.
So
So
we
what
know-
are the names?
Chaired by the deputy.
Did we not have Kathy on it as well?
Yes,
Because,
yes,
is Kathy on it?
She's
Yeah,
listed as the.
because at the moment
responsible-
Kathy still does organise a lot of
So who's
Okay.
on it?
Chris
Chris?
Nix, Sally Ann Wadsworth and Martin Brooks.
Thank you.
and yourself.
And myself,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you're a member of the group, but you are the person who would actually take the minutes and do it, yeah.
Wonderful. Did we vote on that? Sorry, that was proposed, seconded, and all those in favour? That's carried unanimously. Thank you.
And then we've got this.
Okay, what's next on the list?
Development.
Youth development and
Thank you.
support.
Youth development support. Again, that one's me. I'm very happy to remain on that one. I think I shall be pushing this one quite hard this year, so we're not disbanding that. That's all right with everyone. And Councillor Sally Ann Wadsworth's also on that one. As long as she's happy to do so, rolling her eyes.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Any other budding folks want to join that one? No. Very well. I'll propose that we accept that then. Seconded by Councillor Wadsworth. All of those in favour? Thank you. You keeping that in, aren't I?
Right,
Yeah,
all
okay.
of them.
We're getting there, getting there. Okay, there we are. Does that conclude the
That's
all
all
of
yours.
the groups and committees? Brilliant. Representations to other organisations from councils. So we'll kick off with the Armed Forces Champion. I believe that's currently yourself, Paul. if
It
memory
is,
serves.
yes. I'd like to continue in that role.
Splendid. Councillor Brooks.
I will second that.
Brilliant.
So it's nominated and seconded, so
Fantastic.
we now need a vote, don't we?
All those in favour of Councillor Ainsley
Thank
remaining
you very
the
much.
Armed Forces Champion? Fantastic.
I was getting worried that you were giving everything up.
No, that's not my way, not
I know, but you were saying I don't want to.
Very good. Item number 2 is citizens' advice. Who do we have as the attaché for citizens'
That
advice?
was Hannah, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
think-
Hannah.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was,
Hannah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So, that
We don't have anybody at the moment then?
suggests that we have a vacancy CAB. Any
Are you not
takers?
allowed to call them that? I
Oh,
was on.
CAR.
They have a box for finding you in the office.
Stuck in my old ways, Councillor Brooks, apologies. Citizens' advice. Any takers? Anyone fancy that one? No.
Well, we need to be represented, so
Yes,
if no one else,
I did send an email and mention that, and Chris probably, I don't know if you've been before, but the role doesn't have any,
It's a reporting role, is my understanding.
That's what
yeah,
I
which
said.
nobody ever has reported. That's why I didn't
I've
put
added it a
there.
couple of times.
And thank you very much for volunteering.
But you do get a nice
Councillor-
reception at the
We have a vote on
AGM.
that, so that's proposed. I'll second that one. All those in favour of
Sorry,
Councillor
who proposed
Clark?
Chris Clark?
Yes. Most
Seconded
himself,
by Councillor Nix.
very selflessly.
What's that? Unanimous?
I believe it was, yes.
Yeah.
I'll vote.
Right, representative for Oakham in Bloom. No takers for the flowers.
They've got a lot of very nice committee members at the moment. It has changed a lot,
Super.
but I don't want to be.
Let's just keep
Councillor
that one
Roswell,
How
vacant.
often do they meet?
Quite frequently,
Oh, right.
because they do a lot of good for the town.
They do, they do.
Yeah.
Leave it vacant.
It's a difficult one.
So,
to do, isn't it?
Present-
The next
present-
person who joins has to be the representative.
Yes, or maybe we could ask, because it's a shame that Evie is not here tonight as a.
Unfortunately, we are incredibly thin on the ground at the moment.
Yeah,
as a
because
council.
there are,
We
could be,
are-
as you say, Councillor Evie could well.
She might have a burning
She'd
desire to
have
be.
a
And
burning
it
desire
is-
to join the Oakham Gloom.
She was
And-
drawing flowers on her window today. So
And they don't have to weed. Committee members generally don't weed. There are a few that do.
Very well, so we don't have any takers present for that one then.
That's all they have to do is weed it and plant it.
Is it
isn't it?
vacant? Yeah.
Yeah. The Parish Council Forum.
Yes.
I think that was me.
Happy to.
Yeah, as long as I get told when the meetings are, because that seems to have been a problem.
I would like to go for that because I remember the good old days of that. It's it's a very interesting meeting, and I think we were allowed to have 2 representatives, and then one of those representatives, when it was done properly, then joins a committee that sets the agenda for things that affect the whole of Rutland.
Marvellous. So we have 2 incredibly keen councillors to do that. I'm assuming that you are proposing yourselves. I will second that in
Yeah.
both instances. All those in favour of accepting that, and is unanimous. Thank you. Next is a trustee of the Memorial Institute.
That's me at the
That's
moment.
you, Councillor. Happy to remain
I'll
in
be
role.
happy to continue if you
Phenomenal.
wish me to do
Can I ask Chris a question? Do you actually sign at the Memorial Institute a deed of trust? Are you?
Yes, I am a trustee. Yes.
That would be helpful for the Victoria Hall thing. Yes, that's fine, because that's why you have to remain for your period
Yes, I'm
of time.
I am the trustee of the...
How long?
So in that case,
Sorry, Martin, Councillor Brooks got a question.
How long have you got left on yours?
I only joined this year, so I think
Because
it's 3
probably
years.
3 or 4. Isn't it?
3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
quite the sentence.
yeah.
Right, Councillor Clark remains the trustee incumbent of the Memorial Institute. All those in favour, I'll second that. All those in favour? Splendid, unanimous.
That's good.
Trustees of the Victoria Hall. This may or may not change in the next year, but that's...
Sorry. I
Councillor
don't think they have any representatives from the councils on their thing anyway.
Well, we have the ability to appoint trustees to them.
Yeah,
Again, it's in a reporting capacity, is my understanding from
Yes,
the Victoria
exactly.
Hall Trust.
it's something that's, I mean, I don't care, I'll get in trouble, it's something that suits them, because I've actually seen the deed for Victoria Hall, which very clearly states how many trustees there should be, and that includes Rutland County Councillors and Oakham Town Councillors. Now, when I first knew about Victoria Hall, councillors on this council used to sign a deed of trust, and many of you, I don't know if you remember Jan Billingham, when I first moved here, she was so proud of the fact that she'd become a trustee, signed a legal document. But something went by the way at Victoria Hall, and
Sorry, Councillor Brooks.
we're being asked tonight to be trustees.
Yes.
But if you go to Victoria Hall and send 4 councillors, they will send them away. And the ones that they will keep, they won't let them sign a deed of trust, which Councillor Clark has done for the charity, which he is a trustee.
Can I suggest that we defer that until we know
Well, I'd
what's
like to
happening?
nominate myself to be a trustee of the
Oh,
Victoria.
marvellous, Councillor Angie. Hang on.
Yeah, we can
Four
nominate. I mean, I would like to go down the line that we nominate 4 people.
Well, I think I'm not certain it is 4 actually, Martin, but
Yeah,
If you-
I did definitely. I went to the Charity Commission and got a copy of the deed of trust a couple of years ago.
Respectfully, Councillor Brooks, I don't know whether we get 4 today.
No, I'm just saying that it would be the ideal situation that we could get it run properly, especially as we're going to move back there.
So in that case, because Councillor Ainsley has selflessly put himself forward,
I second that.
Councillor Clark has beat me to the punch there and seconding that. And all of those in favour of Councillor Ainsley joining as trustee of Victoria Hall, fantastic.
That's a start, isn't it?
It most certainly is. And lastly on our list of organisations is the twinning representatives.
I'm currently that. I think, am I the only one?
No, it's me as well.
Oh,
Oh,
are
yes.
both of it?
Yeah.
Well, you could quite both be
Well, I'd like to
twins, couldn't
continue.
you?
Would you like to continue?
Yes.
Marvellous. Anyone want to join our fair
No, thank you.
brigade? No? No. Right.
Can I just make a comment about twinning? Because it's nice that we are doing the German side of things, but we've lost contact with Dodgeville, Land's End. So we are twinned with 2 organisations, and we did actually when I had my first ever council meeting, it was followed by a meeting at Land's End where we had a joint council meeting over, back in them days, you know, it was still possible for video link, and people were going, hello, I can see Maureen Dodds there, so they obviously had a tiny thing. But I would like to see not at a cost to the council, because the German side has always not cost the council money, because due to press coverage and things over the years, but I would like to see that side of the twinning possibly resurrected as well, because
We shall give that information to the
It is on the agenda, and I did last year meet the former mayor of Dodgeville, and
We
he
did, yeah.
dropped in to Oakham at short notice.
yeah.
And I think over the weekend, I think I saw him 3 or 4 times.
So they are, Martin. Contact is not
Yes, I
lost.
think you got in the paper, didn't you? Or somewhere I saw it.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm quite happy to
As long as it's
second
in
Councillor Ainsley and Councillor Clark as the twinning representatives. Will anyone join me? We'll suggest they propose themselves.
Or I can propose them.
Fantastic. Councillor Brooks proposes. Either or.
So are we voting or proposing? Sorry, I've got
Councillor Brooks proposes.
Seconder, Chris Nix.
Yep. And all of those in favour? Wonderful. Unanimous. Right. Item number 12, calendar of meetings.
So what would you like to do? Because obviously the next one is on Wednesday the 21st, and I'm actually on holiday.
Right.
Or Chris was going to do it. So
Chris Evans.
yeah.
Just sent another.
Yeah, no. So I'm saying he's not here.
So we have to
So
go down the arranged.
we
Yeah.
will be unrepresented
When it,
21st. And seeing as we are,
not core it is unlikely to happen.
it is rather, so I would suggest that we preemptively agree to cancel that meeting and strike it from the calendar. If we are able to do that at this meeting.
Yep.
Fantastic. So that is the Wednesday the 21st of May. Reckon time is cancelled from today. And let's visit the next as they come and arise.
So do we need a proposal?
Thank you very much. Would anyone like to propose that that's the case? Councillor Clark. Seconded by Councillor Douthwaite. Thank you. All those in favour of cancelling that 21st of May Reckon Planning Committee meeting? That is unanimous. Thank you. Okay, would anyone like to make any further comment regards our calendar of meetings? It's standard Wednesday format. We're all very much used to.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to propose that we accept this calendar?
I mean, sorry.
Councillor Brooks.
I was just quickly looking, because this is important for the staffing meetings. I believe that there hasn't been reviews. Now, I don't know how, I'm trying to remember. I think that pay rises go through April time. Am I right, Kathy?
No, we get told by the national, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, we get told by NALC in November.
Okay, so but
But that gets backdated to April this year then.
yeah.
So
So
we
I
don't get a pay rise until November.
no, that's fine. I'm ready. So it sort of fits in with the November meeting. But I'm just wondering if the meetings are in the right place. I know additional ones can be called if required, but I'm just wondering if the
So some of the staffing, the recreation and planning meetings could be changed to extraordinary meetings if it's needed.
yeah.
And the staffing, this is just a suggestion to make sure those meetings happen, but they can be changed. They don't have to happen.
Well, I'm just wondering if it's like there's quite a big gap between the two staffing meetings.
Yeah, but we can always call one in between.
Yeah,
Those
but,
are set ones,
so
they make sure that we have them.
Because if they're not put anywhere on the calendar, they never used to be put on the calendar at all.
No.
And then people just forgot about them, or you had an extraordinary meeting. So
Yeah,
that's
because
why-
what I'm trying to get to the point is that the staffing committee is doing the right thing for the staff as well, because reviews are important for
They are. So
both sides.
at the moment, they essentially represent a biannual meeting. I think it's very much useful that, as an absolute minimum, we would hold them quarterly. And that's something we can put into effect as
we can update the calendar.
Yeah, because we shouldn't be just having meetings when things just collapse.
No,
I think it would be possibly, as you say, quarterly if it could be fitted in.
So I would support that, and I would suggest that we
make a
yes,
redo it.
that we'll. Shall we then, in that case, defer the calendar meetings until?
We need to set the 21st of May is cancelled, don't we?
Yes, we
We've
do.
already done that.
We
No, but we have to vote on that.
We did.
We did.
But the rest of it, finance meeting on the 11th of June, perhaps. Okay.
That's our quarter date. And we agreed we'd have meetings on quarter dates.
Okay.
So, Chairman, can I suggest that we do accept this, but as everybody's aware that staffing should be quarterly, that's brought back to the next meeting as a revision.
That we add additional dates to our calendar.
Yeah.
Is that your proposal?
Yeah.
I think it should just be deferred until.
Yeah, but then we won't be able to have these meetings if something
then
goes wrong.
Yeah,
Would you like
but
to
the thing
propose
is,
that formally,
if you agree to this,
You can change things.
that
Or
means you
add
can't
to it.
go back to it for 6 months.
Well, we can say that's subject to revision, surely.
Well, as long as we clearly, if we clearly,
You can't go back to it for 6 months. If it falls,
Very well.
if
In that
it's
case,
deferred,
if we clearly
you can
minute,
move it to the next meeting.
if we, because we need to approve at least the next meetings of the council. So if we clearly minute that we accept this with there will be some coming back to council additional staffing committee dates.
would you like to propose that, Councillor?
Yes, that's what I do. So we accept this as it is on the what's the word, on the proviso that new dates for the staffing committee are brought back to council for approval.
I wonder whether that's necessary, given that we can do that in any case.
Well, we could, but it just makes it clear.
It's built and braces, I
because-
suppose, isn't it? So in that sense, I'm happy that we've covered
Right, so
ourselves
who's
there.
proposing?
Councillor Brooks proposed.
Okay.
I shall
Seconded
second
it.
that.
Thank you.
And all of those in favour of that action? Okay, 1, 2, 3,
Sally
5. All those
Abstain.
against?
Do you get,
And one
Abstain.
abstention.
yeah, that's the one.
Lovely, thank you very much. Item number 13, Chairman's allowance under section 15.5 of the Local Government
You
Act.
have to abstain.
I certainly shall. 972, the council are asked to approve the budgetary chairman's allowance of £2,000 for the financial year 25-26. I, of course, would have an interest in this, so I shall be abstaining from
Okay,
conversation.
I'll accept.
So you
I'll
propose.
propose, yeah, me.
Second.
Thank you.
We all.
All those in favour?
Thank you.
There we are. And I shall, of course, abstain.
Yeah, I've
If
not done
you
that.
wouldn't mind noting.
Oh,
Thank you very
right,
much.
okay.
Right, on to,
Right.
thank you, 14.
Okay.
Fine.
So we've had a lovely email from Claire, who did the May fair dance that we supported them with £300. But what they want to firstly say is they want to thank Oakham Town Council for their support of the funding for the May fair dance. It was a lovely event and maybe the start of something special for the town, with whisperings of doing it again next year. Thank you. It's already time to sort out logistics for this year's magical lantern walk. So what they're asking for is, can they use cuts close to dusk on Saturday the 8th of November? And they might even have the Rutland Morris joining them this year. Is everybody happy about that?
Yep,
We've done it before, so
several times.
yeah.
When is it? The 8th of May?
8th of
November.
Yeah, at dusk. And then I believe certain councillors want to know more about the Rutland VJ 80th anniversary. So there is a planning meeting's been going on since March 2025. It's basically held in this office with Sarah Finesse, Ian Reynolds, who writes the notes, Kate Howard from Rutland County Council, and Richard Cole, ex-High Sheriff, Richard Chesterfield, the current High Sheriff. So obviously everybody knows that the event's happening on the 29th of June in Parting Park. Ian Reynolds has actually managed to have a fly past, and that's going to be at 1:03. So obviously we'll take music down that day, at that time, for the fly past. They're organising an event on week commencing for the flag raising at Oakham Castle, week commencing Monday the 23rd of June. The 28th of June is Breakfast Club, and then onto the at the grain store. The 29th is obviously the celebration in the park with Rutland Remembers, our 80th anniversary. So updates, there's going to be a parade, including road closures, the Royal Anglian Regiment Corps of Drums. So there's obviously villages are invited to take part. There's a church service of Thanksgiving at 10:30, which you've all been invited to. The party in the park is from midday to 5 o'clock. We have obviously stalls, food stalls, the grain stall, Ovation. We have lots of new stores joining us this year. There is no charge this year. And then they've got set up a publicity plan as well. So have you got any questions?
No, just thank you for letting us know what it is, because I mean my view of that is it's good, but it's not a town council event, it's a Rutland County Council event.
It's not a Rutland County Council event.
Can we not nominate somebody to the committee?
Yes, of course.
We could, couldn't
Well,
we?
I'm representing.
No, but I'm saying we could also nominate a councillor of civil service.
Yeah.
And I'd like to put my name forward as unfortunate champion for that.
Thank
And
you.
I'd like to second that.
Thank you
Yes,
very much.
I will. I think it's important that we have representation, because it was billed as our event all last week.
It's still our event.
So we have
Yeah.
proposer, a seconder. All those in favour of, and anyone else want to join?
Who's the second? Chris Clark.
Yes.
Christopher Clark, sorry.
Fantastic. All those in favour of Councillor Ainsley joining as the Office Champion, thank you. Unanimous, I think.
If you like.
You'll have to do a speech, Paul.
Yeah.
Well, now.
Lovely. Okay, moving on to item number 15, Chairman's Report. I think it's rather too soon for me
I'd
to...
like to say a few words if I can.
Apologies.
No, because it's you. I'm not the chair, but as post-chair, or whatever that is.
Please go ahead, Councillor.
I really did want to discuss, I'll just point out, the staffing challenges that we're facing and it is an extremely difficult transition. We are being advised throughout by PD Solutions, and key steps have been initiated. We are seeking guidance from the Information Commissioner's Office. We are clarifying the advice given to the Monitoring Officer, and the bit I think that's really important when we look at our members of staff is that the Lebanese Authority confirmation that the Council cannot pursue a grievance process in this context. I think that's particularly important to note, but we will be giving clarifying evidence to the Monitoring Officer. We'll also be looking for legal expertise and support from Nelson's, although no contract has been made. I made initial contact, and we will discuss this at staffing at some point, and then we'll see where we go from there. We have carried out, and I must ask, this remains confidential for now, that the employee health assessments.
Maybe you should.
Should we bring this into
Exempt.
recorded? Should we bring this into an exempt session?
I
think we should, and we have to vote on that. If
let's do that
which
now
is
then.
because obviously you're going to talk about the staff
Have we
health.
not got an exempt bit at the end that we can discuss this?
If you wouldn't mind, Councillor Ainsley, can we
Yes.
defer the rest of your piece to after item 22?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Anything else other than that you would like to
No,
say?
nothing more.
Lovely. And so, yeah, all I have to say at this present time is that, yes, I was dutifully represent the council and the community, and I'd like to reach out soon to all of the other folks involved in running this fair, town and county, so that we can foster good relationships going forward and a cohesive working environment. Item number 16. Any correspondence received?
None.
Thank you, none received. Okay, item 17, moving on to bank signatories. So we need to confirm and have new signatories for the Lloyd's account. The current ones, the Town Clerk, Deputy Town Clerk, Councillors Ainsley, Councillor Clark and Councillor Douthwaite. I'm going to head you off past Martin because I know exactly what you're going to say. We may need to consider the possibility of having other signatories, in so much that Councillor Brooks has raised a concern about the Town Clerk and Deputy Town Clerk authorising payments.
Can I respond to that?
Certainly, Councillor Ainsley, if you have a counterpoint.
Yes, I do. So the financial regulations are very explicit, actually. So now I've got to find it, of course, which is very difficult. So here we go. So it does say that I'll just read out 5.15, which is the pertinent article in here. So the clerk under delegated authority for any items below £500, excluding VAT, and this obviously has to be within budget. It can't just be willy-nilly out of budget. The clerk, in consultation with the chair of the council for any items below £2,000, two appropriate members of the council for all items expenditure within their delegated budgets. That's important for items under £5,000. And then the council for all items over £5,000. And it says quite clearly here, such authorisation must be supported by minute in the case of council or committee decisions or other auditable evidence trail. So that's what we have to do, is provide a minute that actually gives us an audit trail.
That's wonderful, because that's what I've been asking for months and months. But the issue I'm having at the moment is that it may not clearly say it in the financial regulations, but under the local association, government, whatever thing that I found it does specifically say that the people who create the payments can't make the payments.
I don't think, well, okay, we can agree to differ.
Which means that the responsible officer basically creates the invoice showing that it needs to be paid to the councillors who are the signatories. And Adam Lowe actually told me he doesn't pay anything up at Uppingham. He's not allowed to.
But that's fine.
That's
So-
But that's
We're not upping it.
Yeah.
No, it's the law. It's actually it's local government law
Yeah,
in
the-
finance, and it's to protect the staff It's not a bad thing. Like Kathy is doing the payroll, and then I don't know, but her and the clerk could between them then pay themselves. Now that is not
Well, that
permitted.
can't
happen.
No, that can't happen
Because
because you've got three. So if I
signatures.
put it on,
Yeah.
then two of the people have to sign it off. So Councillor
Yes.
Ainsley, Councillor Douthwaite.
So-
I can't.
But in the
pay
first,
myself.
sorry, Kathy, but in the first place, under the rules that I read, you shouldn't be anywhere authorising it. So it's not. I'm not having a go at you, but that's what I read. So we need to look into it, and I hope the Finance Committee will look into it. But my more serious concern this evening is that we're not approving signatures for the HSBC, the Cambridge Building Society, and an annual meeting. We should be approving signatures for all the accounts. So perhaps this should be deferred to the next meeting.
I think we have to agree the Lloyd's current account, otherwise otherwise we're going to struggle.
So not financially started.
But regarding the HSBC, that's absolutely fine. We can bring that back at another point. But I have no idea who the authorised signatories are.
No, but that's why they get reviewed each year, and the mandates normally go to the bank.
We haven't got.
So in that case, I do suggest that we
We need to
at least come to an agreement on the Lloyd's account, and let's then, Kathy, bring back signatories for the other accounts at the next meeting. In the meantime,
So
obviously-
we're going to vote on 17 or not?
yes, yeah.
Part of it, yeah.
So the current signatories, subject to discussion following this, but at least we need to come to an agreement at this point. Would anyone like to propose that we agree to the current signatories remaining as they are?
Thank you.
That's proposed by Councillor Douthwaite, seconded by Councillor Ainsley. Those in favour? Thank you. That's all done. Those against?
I vote against. I have no problem with the councillors, but I do have a problem with
Thank you. That motion is carried.
not a personal problem, Kathy, just what I've read when I did the financial regulation.
I understand in a conversation that can happen afterwards, my counterpoint would be that they're not necessarily making payments, they're preparing them on behalf of the council to pay. However, that's a separate conversation.
And then they shouldn't need access to paying.
So on to item number 18. Bank statements, to consider the bank statements and reconciliations. In principle.
We do this on block.
Yes, we do it on block. Does anyone have any questions firstly, because we do need to raise that?
Yeah.
Councillor Brooks was first in the draw.
Yeah, sorry about that, again, Chairman, but we seem to have gone back to the bit of not redacting the
Yes.
bank account details again.
That was going to be my...
Yeah, we've got them really expensive pens.
Yeah.
Which ones are you looking at?
So we've got them in the public domain.
Which ones are you looking at,
Lloyd's,
Martin?
Lloyd's Bank.
I thought I went to
So
trouble to do
that's quite a serious thing, because this new
Where
bank account is supposed
Oh
to
no,
be.
no,
secure.
Martin. I think, if
They're
I
on that
may,
one,
this
and
is the
they're
one
on
that went.
one.
This is the one that went into the public domain, and it is redacted.
Oh,
The councillors did not receive redacted statements.
Okay.
So the ones that are on the website, the ones that are being published.
okay, well thank you for pointing that out.
Because
But I was worried when I saw this.
No, that's because councillors are, why wouldn't
No,
we?
that's what, yeah, but also then we must make sure we store these carefully in our homes as well. Then.
Well, yes, you have a responsibility. Yep.
Or destroy them.
Yeah.
Super. So Councillor Cyan Rogers, you were next to the draw.
Okay, so I'm looking at the Lloyd's Bank,
Lloyd's Bank.
page 1. What was the sign from Barker's? Cost us £42.
Isn't that the Save Rutland one?
No,
Barker's is a...
no, that was. Oh my gosh.
Is it the sign in Centenary Field?
No,
No.
because it was a metal sign.
Yeah.
But no, it was from January, that they didn't get paid in January. So we ended up paying it in April because
What was the site?
We don't know, we can't
it's,
remember.
I think it was Princess
Is that long
Avenue.
ago?
It was Princess Avenue.
Oh, Princess Avenue sign, okay.
But that was from March and it got mislaid, shall we say. And not, it went to the wrong email. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Okay.
So then we've got, on the 10th of April, Drain Division, £545.76p. What's that?
I can explain that.
Okay?
So we had I've got pictures if you want to have a look, but we had a
I just want to
rising,
know what we've spent the money on, that's all.
repairing the drain up at Princess Avenue that was actually,
Gonna collapse.
was going to collapse,
Yeah.
exactly. And
That's
so,
all
and
it's all
at the
been
same
there.
time they were there, they were asked to unblock the sewage outlet because that had become blocked, and that's because it had collapsed, or not collapsed, but it got movement between the pipes in there, and that was causing the blockage. So that was flushed out. We're going to have to look seriously in the fullness of time to actually repairing that properly.
Good.
And that was priced at, it wasn't cheap, put it like that. I can't remember off the top of my
It's
head.
£545.76p, that's why it jumped out on me.
No, what I'm saying is when we come to repair,
Alright.
yeah,
That will come to council. though,
yes,
so.
it will of
Are you
course.
satisfied, Councillor Wadsworth?
With that one,
Okay.
we've also got Abacus Hire Centre for £226. What was that for?
That was to take down the banner on the high street. And the man went and did a really fantastic job because it cost £650 to put it up. So we've got a deal.
This is the same
Yeah, we
reference
didn't
on-
pay for the £650.
I know, it's a lot of money.
It sounds like a win then. Good.
Yes, thank you.
Well done.
And
I would never
there's
propose
3
that.
payments gone out to RF Blackpool.
So which date are you looking at, Councillor?
Sorry?
Which date are you looking at?
I'm looking at the 16th of April now, 16th.
Okay, I can answer that one.
Okay.
So we obviously paid RF Blount for the heating at Victoria Hall.
Yeah.
And during the course of that work, 2 additional items came up. One was a timer, don't ask me which one was which, and the other was an expansion box. And both of those were in the financial regulations, 5% of the original contract.
I thought the Victoria Hall said they paid for them.
No.
Must have misheard. Right, that's it. I'm done.
Councillor Clark, you were next up to the post.
Thank you. It's kind of a recurring thing for me in a sense. It picks up the point that Councillor Wadsworth was saying. That heading, that column is headed AE name and description, or description. Is it possible to have both? I don't know whether this is a spreadsheet and you can make the column on the right-hand side bigger, to explain in very brief terms what the expenditure is for.
Is this on the Realtis reconciliation?
Realtis reconciliation?
Yes,
Yeah.
so I'm looking at it, but picking up the point that Councillor Wadsworth has said, what was this for? Is it possible, this is a yes or no question, to add a brief description after each payment to say what it was for?
Yes.
Right.
Brilliant.
So that might save some of the conversations we have, because we can
Yeah.
then know a little bit more about the expenditure before we get it. I beg your pardon.
Sorry, in the current of staffing issues, I've got a Realtis login, and under guidance I am pulling off certain reports, so I can certainly find out. I don't see why you couldn't have name and description.
Yeah. Even if it was in parentheses or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Very brief.
I think for the everyday things or the monthly things that are going to come out, if we just sort of say, yeah, this is pay, this is rent, this is yada yada yada. The unusual ones, I would definitely look to have a brief description of what they are.
Yeah, just very brief.
Yeah,
so that to pick up the point exactly which has been said here, we spent £228 on applicants hire because
Superb. Well, I think we've all seen the benefit in that. So yes, certainly we've made a note of that. Fantastic. I think the proposer, Councillor Clark, you have to propose that we alter the reality system to reflect the name and description.
I'm just thinking about the tales of woe I've heard about altering realities, but we can take expert advice.
Well, as best we possibly
I'll,
can.
I'll second the proposal.
Superb. Seconded by Councillor Douthwaite. All those in favour of supporting that motion? That is unanimous. Wonderful. Okay, and moving on to the actual theme of the event itself. Could I have a proposer to accept the accounts as they stand? Thank you, Councillor Douthwaite. Seconded by Councillor Anna Douthwaite. Those in favour of accepting? That is unanimous. Marvellous. Thank you. Whew. Right.
Getting there, mate, getting there.
Well done, everyone. So, number 19, additional support measures. Council are asked to consider the additional support measures recommended by the staffing committee. Apologies, I missed an item here.
No, you haven't.
No, you're
Schedule-
fine.
There's just no payment.
No,
No,
there
there's
is
no
no
payment.
It's just to note that
We
there
have a
aren't
blank.
repayments.
Can I just make a comment on that last one before we move on?
Kind of, if it's brief.
Yes, Councillor Ainsley read out the financial regulation which covers this completely. I mean, we should not be presenting a list. There should be a minuted agenda item for each payment over £5,000, and that's where we're getting issues where each month.
Okay.
And that's your audit thing, which it says which you highlighted in there about the. So I mean, I don't know how many more times I've got to ask, but please, if we make payments or going to make payments after the next meeting, because we've been brought nothing to approve this month, so we shouldn't be paying anything over £5,000 this month,
Stop looking.
which I don't know if that's going to cause the office a problem, but. There's been nothing on this sheet. But if we're going to pay over £5,000 next meeting, after that meeting, then they should all be minuted, and then with the descriptions of what it's for.
So you're asking, so if we go on from this agenda here, so 18.1 is going to be payment of 5,000, 18.2 another payment of 6,000, 18.3. Is that what you're asking for?
That is the rule.
Right.
That is the rule. It's not my rule. It has a local government act heading
Yeah.
under
It
local.
was just a question of if that's
Yeah.
what you're wanting, yes. we can
Yeah,
move
sometimes
on.
I misunderstand how you speak, so I'm sorry. But that's not what I want. That's what we're required as a council to do.
Thank
In
you.
which case, we will explore that in fullness going forward. Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you. It would be wonderful and less stressful for me each
More
meeting.
involved, yes. Okay. 19, thank you. Number 19. So, this is brought by Councillor Ainsley. Would you like to propose a quick?
So as you're all aware, we had both members of staff have issues, and we had a very severe temporary reduction in staff. And I must say that other councillors stepped up to the plate, and we assigned urgent tasks to councillors. I'm thinking about the Portaloos, and I'm thinking about other issues. We have sought assistance from Oakham Parish Council, who as a goodwill gesture have agreed to provide voluntary help with us to facilitate certain administrative processes. We're very conscious that Oakham Town Council will not be anywhere near our payment systems, that we're actually looking about realities and our audit. We will looking to engage temporary staff agency workers to support key administrative functions. When I asked LRAC whether there was any, they told me at the time, right at the beginning of this issue, that there was nobody, they had nobody available. So we looked to get support from around us, from our fellow councillors, and we're very fortunate, I believe, that Oakham Town Council came forward. And then we also need council to approve the allocation of money from the general reserves operational to cover potential temporary agency staff, agency workers, support key administrative functions if necessary.
For what purpose?
If necessary.
For what purpose?
To support the staff. Well, we don't have, without the support of Oakham Town Council, we don't have the expertise in-house currently to deal with realtas, I should say. So should we need it? What I'm trying to avoid here is that we recognise that there is a major reduction in staff. We recognise that we have to support the office wherever possible, and that we will need to get assistance in where necessary. So, for example, yesterday's meeting, we managed to get a volunteer from Victoria Hall to take the minutes. So that was very generous of them. That may not always be the case.
Would anyone like to make Councillor Brooks?
I'm not going to repeat in public. Obviously, everybody knows my opinion of the involvement of Uppingham, and I will be voting against that part of the motion. I have also a problem, not with, we need extra staff.
We're not on that one yet.
Yeah, number 2, allocation from general reserves for the extra staff.
Potential temporary staff agency.
Yeah, but my experience of bringing in temporary staff for places, that's not enough money. And I would also like to know what they would be wanting to do. But I recognise we have a serious problem. We have the end of the year. We should be doing certain things. We can't put all the pressure on Anna to sort it out. Actually, a councillor can.
Please, I've done with £750 million budget. This is chicken feed.
No, I'm just saying.
I've had to reconcile 750 million to the penny. So Oakham Town Council's accounts are a piece of cake.
No, but you shouldn't have to do it. So I'm not saying you couldn't do it or whatever. I'm saying you should not have to do it.
Well,
so I would like to see, I would like at some stage, I don't know where we can do it, that we, because this is not enough money. You must know that, Anna, if you're working in finance. I mean, in these standing orders, I believe, or financial regulations, I don't think there is a need for a budget. I remember once reading something where if there was an emergency for staffing,
I would suggest and support that this quantifies and qualifies as an emergency situation.
Yes, so I don't think, but £1,500 is, that's a low wage. If you're going for agency staff, you pay twice. So I'm
what are you suggesting?
I would like to get to the point, I don't know when I can do it, that we propose that a locum clerk is appointed who will come in and help Kathy, help Anna, because a locum clerk, well, I don't know how we find it, Kathy might be able to, is qualified and knows what they're doing. If we go to an agency and say we want someone who can do admin or whatever, or I don't know what we're asking from this piece of paper, we're not going to get somebody who is going to immediately jump in and help.
So, Councillor Ainsley.
So I don't know when I could propose.
Well, I wonder if Councillor Ainsley might accept a third point, or rather not.
I'd like to understand better what we believe the correct allocation of money should be from operational reserves, so that we don't end up stagnating the council, having to wait for the next meeting.
It's going to depend on how long you want this person for. If it's going to be for a week, because we don't know when Chris is coming back.
Well, he's off for 3 weeks.
He's off for 3 weeks now. In that case, that probably won't be enough for an agency staff. But at the same time, if we've got Uppingham are willing to help me free of charge, we're going to save ourselves 1,500 quid. And I am quite happy, as long as council understands that I can only do Wednesdays and probably Friday evenings, that I am quite happy to just keep the banking details ticking over. We've got year end. And I know I'm coming in next Wednesday to have a look at year end, and there's some steps I need to do tomorrow as well, so I'm coming in after work tomorrow. So
I think
I can, because year end is obviously very important, we need to have that done and ready so the accounts can be audited. So I actually think that Mr. Lowe was very kind and an excellent teacher.
It wasn't Mr. Lowe, it was actually the chairman of the council.
Yeah. David Ainsley.
David Ainsley.
Right.
And it just so happens that Mr. Lowe was the person who was volunteered to come forward.
Was showing me how to use Realtus last week, so I'm more than happy to have him helping me again with these other tasks that urgently need doing.
Super.
Would
there be would we find a decent middle ground therefore in amending point number 2 to reflect something like up to £5,000?
Sure.
Yeah.
You need to, because when we had Karen Bell
Yeah.
from down south, she was £1,000.
And it was so
that will at least
unsuccessful.
that will at least get us across some level of line. It will give us the financial flexibility to undertake the task at hand.
Yeah, I'll accept that.
Whilst not being unduly expensive and running away with it.
Not got that one.
Could we not get into a situation? I want to make sure that, because Anna is obviously very willing to do things,
Yes.
I want to make sure that when we get to the point where somebody's got to sign off, which I'm sure she's going to be able to produce it, that we're going to have someone. So can we not appoint Anna as the temporary responsible financial officer for the period of that? So then that gives her the authority to be working and doing it. Because a councillor they can't be paid,
No.
but they can take on that role as the responsible financial officer. And I'm confident that if Anna's willing to accept it, that she can do it. And then it just makes it proper. And if she feels that Uppingham can help her, then I would not object. The only thing I would object is if a certain person became more involved and was appearing here.
Well, I think given our situation, that's an excellent suggestion, Councillor Brooks, and whether or not Councillor Ainsley would be willing to shoehorn that into his proposal.
I think that's actually a fabulous suggestion.
But I think we need to set a date. So
Council approves the allocation of £5,000 from general reserves. I think once needs to come. Oh,
So
sorry.
do we still need to
I
take
would,
one?
I would say
I thought we were having money now because Alan was going to do it and Mr.
let's-
Lowe's
I still think we need to have
we're
a
not
backup.
declaring
Okay.
We're not
so
going to necessarily spend it, it just needs
Yeah,
to be
just
there.
have
we have the
It's
ability
available.
to spend it. So
That
okay.
needs to be minuted.
And I think the really sensible thing is that responsible financial officer, if we have the power to do that,
You do actually.
we
In this
do.
case
I
we
looked
can.
it up and
are you happy to take on that role?
Yeah, as long as council understands that I can only do it on my day off.
yeah,
And,
you do it when
Yeah, but whatever you suit.
Yeah.
I mean, that means you can present the final product to the council and sign it off.
Yeah.
So then we probably don't need the expense of a locum
Need
clerk.
somebody to propose the amendments, or
Yes,
If
please.
you wouldn't mind, sir.
so number 1 remains as is. Number 2 approves the allocation.
There you
It's
go.
all right.
£5,000.
Council approves the allocation of £5,000 from general reserves operational to cover potential, etc. And number 3, that Councillor Douthwaite has agreed to act as the responsible financial officer during the absence of our current financial officer.
Should we not?
And I think we need to
say-
review that at the next council meeting.
Yeah.
Should we not just say then for the next month?
I'd hate to give us a deadline that sort of. So I don't know. I'd just like to say that we
Or we say 2 months?
Or shall we say until the return of our
Clerk.
I think-
until the return of our clerk or a new clerk is appointed. And I think that's probably contentious.
possible to review it
yeah.
at the next
Well,
council
yeah.
meeting.
Review at next council meeting. I think sufficient. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you,
So,
Anna.
I
For,
second that.
Fantastic. So for clarification, Councillor Douthwaite agrees to be the RFO reviewed at the next council meeting.
Yes.
Is that what we're agreeing?
Yeah. And 5k to the 1500.
Super. So should we vote for that en bloc? I
Yes,
think we
please.
can.
Yeah.
Do we have a proposer?
Sorry. Yeah.
Councillor Ainsley's proposing the paper. A seconder, I believe, was Councillor Clark. All those in favour? And against? Oh, okay.
Against or abstaining?
I'm against paying money.
We haven't agreed to
We've
pay
decided
anyway.
that we're not
Just
doing
set a
it, so
budget.
I just,
We've just said that we could, but anyway, that's
yeah, no, that's
duly
fine because
noted.
I'm not, I have my own opinion.
So that was carried, thank you. Oof,
Getting towards the end. Thank
we're
you.
getting there. Item number 20, consider recruitment of additional members of staff.
Yeah, essentially it's exactly outlined here, so hopefully you've read it through, and I'm happy to throw that over to the floor for questions.
Who's going to be first?
You can go first, Martin, I'll let you.
No, the chairman has to choose.
Crack on, sir. Go for it.
You're happy for me to go first. I'm not happy with this, as you probably know. But it's broken down, and somebody on the traders group made this quite obvious to me. This is two matters. One involves the traders and the website, and one involves the council and its events. So one of the traders said in there, I want to know more. I'm sort of, maybe not exact words of that.
Which is the trader?
I don't know if we're allowed to say her
Well,
name
the
in
thing
public.
is this, that every time you say something, somebody told me.
It's on the WhatsApp group, which you're a member of, so you can see it.
Their name is there, is it?
Yes. And she said that you'll know which one it is, because she said this is two different matters. Now, my question is...
It was three, but there you go.
Sorry?
Sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
Please.
My thing here is about that is, can the part about the website be deferred until the traders have had their meeting? Because I am getting indications that they may be willing to do it if they knew what it involved. That was her words, I think she said on there. Because I don't believe we should be paying for it. The man who's running it at the moment, or setting it up, has published in that same forum that within the next few days he's going to give everybody the login details. That's a huge risk to a website, especially with what's been going on with hacking and all sorts of things. So
I'm not sure whether he's qualified for the individual parts of your own website within that website or not.
I mean, he just said he's handing over the login details to everybody.
Yeah, I think what he means is the login details that allow them to modify their own patch.
That's as I understood
Yes,
it.
exactly.
But it didn't come across like that, because it would
that's
be
not part of this paper
individual.
either, Martin, though, is it?
No, but it's all to do with that, and what I'm saying is, could that part not be deferred until the meeting? Because I don't know when it was put to, because it wasn't put to them when I attended a traders meeting, who was going to run it. We've had it here, and we've had it said in the meeting here that if no one runs it, it could collapse in 12 months. The man who's been commenting, who set it up, has said we've only got a package for 6 months. So we need some clarity of what is actually happening with that. Moving on to the other thing, we have a member of staff who organises quite a lot of our events, with obviously support from council members, and and there's no disrespect to Kathy, but I don't think you spend 15 hours a week. Could you clarify to me how many, just for the point that we're being asked to employ someone for 15 hours, how many hours a week do you think you put into organising events?
It depends when the event is, because as you can run up to the event, you have to book people in. Then you have to then send out the event forms, then get the event form back. It's a tracking system, I suppose. It depends on...
But you're not, what I'm trying to say is,
No,
you're
I
not
do
doing
15
that
hours,
every
no.
day, are you, 15 hours a week? So that was my thing, that we don't need someone to do it for 15
But-
hours a week.
No, I think the role is totally different, because it's about the website, which I'm not involved with. It's also about having it taken over the town events, and they're going to be working at weekends. Well, I already volunteer on a Sunday when I'm doing my own sort of thing, but to actually be a dedicated events officer would not be my role.
No.
I
But
don't mind helping, but
But to finish off, what I would say is that to me it shows that there isn't 15 hours a week work on it. If the members of the community are going to update their own website page, what is the person going to do in the 15 hours?
Can I respond to that?
And also, and
Councillor Ainsley, please.
Thank you very much. So, I think there's several things that's been missed off, which is that the Cllr training. When I spoke to the town clerk, he was fairly forthright in that he didn't feel he had the time to actually conduct Cllr training. So we worked out a compromise, and this was that compromise, which we're bringing to council. And secondly, I draw your attention to the job description, which is community engagement, which is something we don't do at the moment. Is collaborate with stakeholders, including Victoria Hall, Rutland Showground, Oakham Town Market, Oakham Farmers Market, businesses and volunteers to foster joint initiatives. And it's absolutely clear here that what we're trying to achieve, as I said right at the beginning, is support local businesses and strive to ensure all initiatives are cost neutral or align with the council's financial goals. I think this is a particularly important post, actually.
And if I might just weigh in on this as well, whether or not there is 15 hours of dedicated work per week at present is not what we're discussing. If we are wanting to do more, we're wanting to be better, we're wanting to serve our community more rigorously, there is going to be more work at hand. And I would suggest that any level of increase in community engagement, as those that actually stayed awake for my speech, is going to be one of my sort of key focuses, really.
But I don't believe we should be paying for it. When I first joined this council, I went for training, and one of the things this council refuses to do, Kathy says she volunteers, we were told by Jake at training that we are the facilitators and we should be using lay people, i.e. the community. And that's, I can't see how paying just one person is going to improve the relationship with the community.
Well, I beg to differ personally. Sorry.
Can I just say
I know, we can
that
differ.
this is a bigger job role than what I do.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
that's the bottom line.
The bottom line is there is more work.
And if you-
But we
Okay.
don't even have a budget for it.
Let's,
No,
let's,
we haven't actually got to discussing.
No.
We've got to talk this stuff.
budget, where's it coming from?
Well, can I just say, the paper says that staffing committee has said we look to recruit an additional part-time member of staff with duties and hours as outlined being exactly that, is what they're outlined as. Finalisation of response will be determined by following a full consultation process for our existing. We cannot impose additional staff on anybody or change the hours or the terms of reference without consulting. So I think this has got a long way to go, and we need to actually consult with staff. Once salary and recruitment costs have been determined, that will be brought back to full council. So what we're saying is, yeah, actually it's a good idea. We agree in principle. We're not actually asking for any money at this stage, but we need to determine what it is we're trying to achieve.
So,
I also, can I finish saying what I'm saying?
Oh, sorry, I thought you had.
We were told that it would take about 4 hours to update a month the website, so now we're going to 15 hours a week.
Update what?
Whatever needs to be updated on the website.
Yeah, we're not talking about that here. There's a whole load of
There's a
other
whole
things
load of
that expense.
There's a whole, if you look at the job description.
I don't look at it, but you know,
Okay.
but we'll get to different things. I just think that it is a waste of money. So
If you look at this list, this is more than 4 hours a month.
that's why we have a clerk and a deputy clerk.
Yeah, but that's not their job, is it?
Yes, it is their job.
right, so
I think we need
let's at least put no
There was
thank you, Martin.
Can I
I'm
just
going to
add
go-
quickly before
No,
you go to
don't
the
go.
vote, please?
Go on.
Please. I found it very unacceptable that this went into the public domain without consultation with the staff, particularly when the staff were off sick. And that's where I will finish.
Duly noted, thank you.
Thank you. That's not quite how it happened, but there we
Or is
go.
that a question for?
Let's rather not.
Okay.
Councillor Ainsley, would you like to therefore propose your paper?
Yes, I would.
Super. Shall we do it on block, or are you?
I'm happy to do it on block.
Marvellous. So, Councillor Ainsley's proposed. I think this is a wonderful
Can you
idea.
just tell us what the proposal is before I vote?
Yes, that's what it says on the paper. Sunday.
Sorry, Chairman,
Can
a
you just
point
read
of
it
order.
out to me, please?
The chairman has just, sorry, the former chairman has just said that this is not to recruit someone, and that is the first proposal.
I think you're twisting, but then it goes.
No, you said
Oh, I
that
think-
it was for us to
We're
just
gonna-
say, rubber stamp it and say, yes, we like the idea,
I-
come back to us. Now you're telling us on this proposal that you actually want us to approve the recruitment.
And I'm saying the council accepts the recommendation of the staffing committee to recruit an additional part-time member of staff.
I know, but Paul, you actually said that it wasn't the purpose of this paper.
So are you proposing an amendment, Martin?
No, I'm just pointing out
just
the
asking whether you are
discrepancy
proposing an
of, because I will vote
You're
how I feel, but I'm just pointing out a discrepancy of
May
what
I-
was said.
Make a suggestion.
Please do.
May I
Sorry,
suggest that
Chairman.
actually you do the recommendations to explore
Yes,
the
okay.
additional part-time member of staff.
Councillor Ainsley is willing to accept that amendment. To
Thank you very much for that compromise,
Marvellous.
councillor.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad I was allowed to
So you want
speak.
to explore the recommendation or explore the...
The
Possibility of an additional
possibility of recruiting a staff part-time member, because in fairness, that's the first step.
Yeah, not accepting it.
And then three then becomes, once that's been determined, it brought back to council for a decision to be made.
Marvellous.
Wonderful. So,
So
Yeah,
with that amendment,
can we just read out that amendment again, please? So, I think what it
Council
says,
accepts the recommendations of the staffing committee to explore possibilities of an additional
part-time member of staff. Thank you. Okay, I'm happy to
Are we going to
accept
do
that
them?
proposal.
wonderful.
Are we doing them as individual?
No, I think we're doing all
Yeah.
what-
Fine. So can I just concentrate on them? Just give me a moment. Just what that says a second.
Can the public speak or not?
No,
No.
The, dis-
That's why
Got
I was
enough.
asking.
got enough people talking.
the discretion of the chairman, actually, it says on our thing.
Just
That,
asking Mark.
mind you, it might be seen as bias.
Could be. So.
But,
You might have some insight.
Are you finished there reviewing that, Martin?
yeah, I'm happy for that change.
Brilliant.
Thank
Okay,
you,
so
Chris. Well,
Councillor Ainsley has proposed the paper. Councillor Clark is seconding. All those in favour of accepting those? Marvellous. Okay, and those against? Sorry, would you like it recorded?
Yeah, if you like.
So
That
just
carries.
for clarity, Chairman, we can just say that it definitely doesn't say proposal one.
It does say proposal one. It says the council accepts the recommendation of the staff committee to explore.
Yeah, that's fine. That's, I just wanted to
100%.
remember that.
So this
Thank
is,
you.
sorry,
Yes.
21? Okay, 21 should be hopefully a lot easier. We had an email, or I had an email from Hayley McHugo, the Economic Development Manager at RCC. They are applying for funding from the Heritage Lottery Fund and asked that we draft a letter of response, which you have in front of you there, which hopefully, if we can agree, we can sign. And essentially what we're asking is that we offer a letter of support to RCC in their bid for Heritage Lottery funds.
Yeah, I'll second it.
So I'm proposing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank
Proposed
you.
by Councillor Ainsley, seconded by Councillor Wadsworth. All those in favour? Everyone unanimous.
Brilliant. So, do you want to sign that and get that?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Can I just point out the deadline?
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. I've spoken to her already.
Yes,
And it will be scanned through first thing in the morning.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sign it.
Well, first thing you mean office hours.
Yes.
Not first thing then.
Or I'll stay and do it now. I don't
No,
know.
no.
No, that's you.
I might read
Oh,
that.
yeah, just write your
Does actually
name.
look
Just
fine.
write Chris Nix.
It's not my usual signature.
Oh,
It's a
right.
little bit quick, so if we'll print another copy because that looks a bit rude.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Don't go without that then.
No,
Yes.
we'll do that.
Right.
Right. So,
I am.
on to announcements, item number 22, Councillor Wadsworth.
Okay, recently we paid to enhance some of the planters around the town. Feedback from the public has been very welcoming that I've received from the Facebook page. And I would like to suggest that we go ahead and enhance the rest of the planters. There's been a bit of discrepancy about actually how many planters we have. Sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's something else. So I am proposing at this moment in time to enhance a further 12 planters in the town, taking half the money from the street park furniture budget and the other from seal money. End of.
Anything from the floor? Go ahead, if you don't mind, Martin. Councillor Ainsley.
Sorry, Martin, were you going to say something?
No, I'm being good.
So I think that My concern is simply that we actually have 17 planters, as you well know. And the other bit that I was exploring was the fact we don't want those. They were proposing Oakham in Bloom signs to go across there, much like what they have now. And there's some work to be done. So what I did send you an email on the 17th of April and also on the 19th of April where I actually said, SAW, over to you, it's your paper. Did we ever get a quote from Tim?
No.
So we don't actually know how much he's going to charge us, and we don't know how much 17 are. It just seems that it would benefit from a little more research into the fact that there are 17 planters, and that how do we, I'm very keen that we don't plaster bits of plastic over the wooden enhancements, and that we actually explore that further with Oakham in Bloom. They have said, Sheila has said that they reckon they only need 17 boards, and they could get men in sheds to produce engraved boards, which would be a lot nicer to actually go on the side. And so I think we should come back with a costed 17 planters and what we
Okay, that's
intended.
over to you then. Paul?
It's your paper.
It's not my paper, you just said that that's crap and I've not done what you wanted me to do with it.
I don't think I did say that, but there we go.
Councillor Brooks, anything constructive to add?
I'll try. I think they are very good. I have heard the things of what Oakham in Bloom might want to do as an alternative, as we own most of the planters, if not all of them, because over the years the town council paid for them in a roundabout way. We should do them all. I can't get personally from myself how many Oakham in Bloom consider we have.
17 left.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
definitive
fine.
number.
But even Sally Ann hasn't been able to find out. I think they should be unified. The part of the thing, and it's not. I've seen on Facebook today people have been agreeing that she's in the press, so I can say her name. Former Councillor Lucas, of how dreadful the town looks. It's probably a bit extreme to say that, but the planters, the old ones, look completely shabby and horrible. Putting this new cladding round, however many we did the other month,
6.
really makes them look much better. And I would like to stick with the same colour, because grey, and no offence to men in sheds, but they did do some work around the museum which had to be removed because nails were sticking out and they were a bit dangerous. So I don't know how we resolve this, because I've found personally with the planter situation, and it did come from Oakham in Bloom. There's a saying, too many cooks spoil the broth. I mean, I personally was willing to donate one myself, but it got so messy with different people from Oakham in Bloom coming to me and then people from the council, that even when I said to the clerk, please can you just order it and have it, it just fell. So I said, don't bother, I don't want to do it. But I would like to see this done, whether it's 12 or 17,
Right,
because it's a huge enhancement to the town, and it visually, everybody has said how nice they are. And people go up to them and touch them, because when I tell them they're plastic, they don't believe it.
Fantastic.
Well,
Councillor.
they are
Right, I'll
fat wood.
re-propose then, if you're willing to listen, to enhance 17 planters in the town, which will come to 4,556 plus VAT on the prices that we were quoted of £268 per planter.
Sorry, 4,000.
4,556.
4,420. What price are you working at? 260?
268 plus
Okay.
VAT is what I have been back in the papers and found that's how much they cost.
Well, we don't have a quote yet from him, do we?
No, but the paper is to agree to, let's say, £5,000 to half from street and park furniture and half from the seal money to get these enhancements done.
And
That's
can I?
my proposal.
Can I add to the proposal that under no circumstances must the planters be defaced by any advertising, because that is an issue all round on the old planters. So I believe, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I can go by the type of label that it's been fly posted rather than an official.
So just to clarify, Sally, if I may,
Yeah.
they're going to be brought into line with all the others
Yeah.
that we've done. It's going to be that, yeah. So which looks very nice, and there will be no
So I'm sure there is 17.
fantastic and no advertising.
No
as-
advertising unless Oakham in Bloom want to bring a proposal to one of the members of staff.
Fantastic.
Well, not staff, or council, should I say. And then we can bring that on the paper.
Seconder?
Have we set a budget? For
5,000.
5,000.
So
yeah,
it's
correct.
just to
I would
clarify,
respectfully suggest that maybe a little light even now.
up to, what was that, up to a maximum of,
Should we say up to a maximum of 6,000?
I think so. That's my figure. Yeah.
okay,
Okay, so that's 3,000
And if
from
more's
Street
needed, it
Park,
can
come
3,000 from Sill.
to be divided equally between the two.
50% of each.
Very good. Lovely. Anyone want to
Second.
second that? Councillor
Thank you.
Douthwaite.
Can we just make a... I'm so sorry, this is becoming painful, but I agree totally that we don't want it defaced by advertising. That has to be... And I think also there are some that have a memorial plaque on them. And also OIB, Oakham in Bloom, are looking to put their name across the front. And I think that should be, before anything is done, it should be brought back to council here so we can protect the way it looks.
Well, I've proposed what I've proposed. So we have to see if that stands first.
Okay. So at the moment we're in a situation where we're authorising a maximum.
£6,000 plus VAT.
Fantastic. Do we then wish
Do we
to
have a second?
ratify that?
You've got Anna, yeah.
That's
Okay.
seconded, yeah. Okay. All those
Just
in
need to
favour
vote.
accepting?
We're going to actually say that I wish to... Are we going to add that separately? Are we going to do that?
I think we're covered by the fact that we're voting to say that nothing goes on at the moment, but things can change, can't they? So if Oakham in Bloom came back with a nice plaque that would be in keeping...
We haven't said that, have we? That's my
No,
worry.
but they can
Do you
come
want
to
put that
us.
on? Or do you want that as a second part?
It's not my
Just
favourite.
silence
Part
paper.
two.
I would suggest an amendment that says that before Oakham and Bloom make any enhancements to the enhancements or changes to the enhancements, that they come back and get the agreement for Oakham Town Council,
Because there'll be Oakham Town Council's property.
essentially.
Yeah.
I think it's sensible at least to make sure that we can look it over.
Yeah,
If you would agree to that, Councillor.
Yeah, I just want to get the enhancements done on the, before the summer starts.
Absolutely.
Or if we defer it over and over again until the summer's gone.
I don't know whether this is just me, but it applies to a number of papers that we see. Could we please use commas?
Right, okay.
Right, I am terrible at English, I do apologise.
No, it's not
Okay.
that. It's a lot of the documentation we have doesn't have commas in
Right,
it.
okay,
The
that's
budget's
one
there.
for another day, thank you.
Okay.
Right,
Councillor
can we just
Clark,
vote,
appreciated, yes.
Can I just... What are we voting on, please?
Right.
Just clarify for me. Thank
Okay,
you.
so we're having 17 planters and we're spending £6,000. Some of 50% of it's coming from the street park and park furniture budget, and 50% is coming from the Cllr money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you
Part
pay
two.
SPF,
Oh,
perhaps.
okay, whichever. Did we do?
No, we're doing Sill money at the minute.
Oh, right.
That's what the paper says.
Oh yes, we've got to spend that because Rutland County Council
Right,
are aware
okay.
of our
We've
So
finances.
also
vote
got
on
the
that,
other
yeah.
point.
We do, fantastic, so that's,
And the additional amendment, the second bit of the proposal.
Is Oakham in Bloom has to have an agreement to put anything on those planters. Has to have. That's got to be written. They have to be written to basically. and
that it
told.
has to come back to
It's got
come
to go back to.
to council to
Yeah.
Approve. Ratify, yeah.
So, and they've not got to be defaced.
No.
Hmm.
So do
Okay.
you want that as on block or do you want?
Yeah.
En bloc.
Okay, right. Can you vote please?
Yeah.
So, have we got a proposer in a second?
Yeah, I've
one
done
there?
that, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Paul?
Cool.
Sorry,
That's brilliant.
yes.
And
Unanimous.
then our town will look nice for summer.
Okay, here we go, we're getting there.
Right.
Go on, Sally Ann.
Okay, I propose on the 15th of March we held an event in the town to encourage more people to use the town centre. This was a success and therefore we would like to hold 2 more events. The two that I've stressed is Saturday the 13th of September for Rutland Day, which I know the Castle have already got things planned for, so we could enhance what they're doing, and also Sunday the 23rd of November for the Christmas Fair Lights switch on. For both of these events we need to request a closure for the High Street, Mill Street, Marketplace and Jail Street. I did ask, when I sent the paper in for the clerk to find out how much that would cost, but at the time there wasn't anybody to ask, so I've done an estimated figure of 3,000. I don't know whether Kathy can enlighten us on whether it's going to cost any more than that.
What? Do the road closures?
Road closures and
Well,
pay for
just
the name.
Oh, no, you should be fine with it, yeah.
So 3,000 will cover it.
So can I just make an amendment? Apologies.
Can I finish?
Sorry, apologies.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
When we have the next traders meeting, Hayley is going to mention that we have now got another pot of UK SFP money that we can use,
Amazing.
and we might be able to use that money to pay for these road closures anyway. But in the first place, we have to pay it and then claim it back, I believe.
But when we do a road closure, we just do it on block for the year.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
would.
pay till the end of the year, apparently, it turns out.
Right, okay.
Could I just make a suggestion that we change that, rather than at a cost of 3,000, rather up to a maximum of?
Okay,
If everyone would be happy with that?
yeah.
It gives us, it just removes the definite
Yeah.
nature of that figure.
Can I just ask Kathy a question, because she must have been reading my mind, because I can remember, not everything,
What's the question?
but I can remember the council saying this, because it also comes up that in that fee we pay for Remembrance Sunday road closures and things.
Yeah.
So I mean, are we still paying an annual fee for the whole year?
Yes.
So why have we been asked to pay this?
Well, no, I think Sally Ann's referring to amber management traffic. You have to have road closure people in place.
Oh right, so this is not money that will go for.
No, no.
It's a separate
just to
thing. It's
cover all
the it's separate from the county council's road closure fee.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's clarification. I mean,
Marvellous.
I didn't know what. The,
Question on the
Second
proposal.
it then.
Wonderful.
No, sorry, who proposed? Sally.
I did.
Yeah, sorry.
Fantastic. Seconded by Councillor Clark. Quite unexpectedly marvellous. All those in favour of this paper? That is unanimous.
Thank
What are we
you.
doing for time?
Right.
I think we have to vote for an extension, do we not?
We do. Oh, thank you very much. Right, so I shall, given the short nature of the upcoming matters, I propose an extension of 10 minutes to our
Or
additional time.
15.
Get to the point.
Yes, that is.
We would have been home
I
an hour
propose that.
ago.
Who's seconding? Councillor Wadsworth. All those in favour? Unanimous.
Sorry, who proposed?
I proposed it.
Yes.
Sonia.
I seconded it.
and it was unanimous. I think.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, road closure done. Matters for consideration in private. Are we happy?
Yeah, I'd like to raise these issues.
We're not in private.
Wonderful then, so in that case I'll...
We got to vote on.
So,
number.
I can leave.
yeah.
You'll have to.
Sorry.
Alright.
So yes,
Now,
for matters...
now.
No, we haven't voted yet.
So,
We might not vote for it.
So to resolve the issues of the press and public being excluded from the meeting when considering items of the grounds that may relate to individuals and financial affairs of persons, this information is classed as exempt under paragraphs 1, 2 and 3 of Schedule 12A to Section 100A of the Local Government Act. So I vote, do we have a proposer for putting this into closed session? Councillor Brooks, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Ainsley. All those in favour? Thank you.
Before we go into session, could I also ask Kathy if she's happy to be sitting here while people might be talking
I
about?
don't think you should be.
I mean, maybe you could accompany Mrs. Nix. Just,
Who can blame you?
I think it.
No, just teasing.
Thank you, Chris.
No, I had to. I could print out this.
You know what? Take that. It's fine. It's okay.
Well, can you just write your name regular?
And I'm glad that.
So, am I leaving or what am I going?
I think you should.
Okay. In a nice way.
Well, I'm hoping.
Absolutely a nice way.
I'm hoping we're not going to be specifically talking about people, but I just think it's a good safeguard.
Thank you.